once again, Hare Krishna to everyone for the Saturday Bhagavad Gita class. And we are reading from chapter 1. And we have done few verses in this chapter 1, but let's first chant the Mangalacharan prayers to bring the auspiciousness. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaye Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatvarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. So last time I requested all of you to by heart the first two verses, which we recited last time. So we can ask one of you to please chant the first verse, Ashwini, without looking at the book.
I don't have a. I'll try. I've tried to do this, but yeah. Hare Krishna. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakaha pandavaschaiva kimakuravata sanjayah. Sanjaya uvacha. I'm going to need some help with this one.
Drishtva tu
Pandavanikam Duryodhana Vyudham Duryodhanastada Acharya Upasangamnya Raja Vachana Abbravet.
Wonderful, very good. Good attempt. Madhuri.
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवा मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत सञ्जय सञ्जय उवाच दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकम् व्यूढम् दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसङ्गम्यम् Raja Vachanam Abravit.
Wonderful. So, translation, you haven't said, any of you, but I will ask Saloni to chant and then also translate.
Oh dear. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmashetre kurushetre samavita yuyutsava mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvata sanjaya. So here Sanjaya says, King Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya, what is happening on the battlefield? My sons and the Pandavas' sons have lined up. Yuyutsava means to kill or get killed. They are ready for fighting. What did they do? What is happening in the battlefield?
Very good. Ashwini, second verse translation.
Sanjay Uvacha Društva
Translation.
Just translation?
Translation.
Yeah, okay. So Sanjay says,
Don't look at the browser.
Sanjay says that he is looking at Duryodhan, observe the battle formations that the Pandavas have put together, and he goes up to his Acharya and very diplomatically speaks with him.
Wonderful. Devilina, why did he do that?
Sorry, I missed you.
Okay, so Duryodhana is looking at the army of theirs and also looking at the army of Pandavas. Why does he do that?
Because he's awestruck how well Pandavas have prepared themselves,
Mhm.
and that he goes to his master Dronacharya and describes it, that what Evyudam, which means what preparations they have got, and even Dronacharya seemed worried about it.
Okay, wonderful. Have you done the makeup today or? Yeah, okay, good. All right. Priyanka, I can't see. Iti, welcome back.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. I didn't see you on Janmashtami. Sorry, not on Janmashtami as well as Radhashtami. I thought we lost you. Anyway, so coming back, so have you followed the way the verses to be by hearted? The way I told, and that's easier. Hopefully you have followed that, or you are still sneaking to browser and then seeing it and then speaking it. But that is okay for now, but later on it's going to be very difficult, because if you don't remember, you won't be able to quote them whenever required. Yeah. So that's why this way of chanting and by hearting becomes very, very easy for all of us. All right. So now we are, if we look at the overview of the chapter 1, it is 1 to 26. The verse number 1 to verse number 26, it is called as observing the armies.
1 to 26.
1 to 26. It is the observing the armies. And within that, 1 to 13 is preparation for war. Then 14 to 20 talks about the science of victory. Science of victory. Who will win and how he will win? Why? What are the signs? What are the indications of winning? Yeah. And from 21 to 26, Krishna talks as Bhaktavatsala. Yeah. Krishna talks as he is the Bhaktavatsala. Now, from 27 to 46, Arjuna shows his lamentation that why he does not want to fight the war. With within that 27 to 30, his compassion, he shows his compassion towards relatives, towards the friends, towards nears and dears, his gurus, his grandfather, to all of them. 31 to 35, he talks about the enjoyment. He says that what is the enjoyment, when everyone will be killed? Whom I will share my enjoyment with? That was his question in his mind. And he was so compassionate. So this all the part is of the compassion only. And that's why he's lamenting that he doesn't want to fight the war. 36 to 38, he talks about the fear of sinful reactions. So when you kill our own people, he was fearful that what kind of sinful reactions he's going to get, which is very valid. He asks very valid questions. And 39 to 43, he talks about the destruction of family traditions. So when the elders are killed, who is going to tell the family tradition, pass on the family traditions to the younger ones? Because they are so small that they will not be able to understand, and they cannot follow the family traditions. So this chapter has only 43 verses, but these 43 verses talk so much about beautifully explained, various section wise, that how Arjuna's questions start from here. Preparations of war, science of victory, Krishna's as Bhakta Vatsala, how you can show the love. And Arjuna's lamentation with compassion, enjoyment, fear of sinful reactions, and 13 and 40, the destruction of family reactions. So now we were in the preparations of war section, so 1 to 30. So what I will do is, we will only take the select verses from first section, that is preparations of war, and then we go to the next one. So in the first section, what happens, he talks about what are the strengths that Pandava's side has, what are the strengths that Duryodhana's side has. So both have tried to compare. And why did we do that? Because they wanted to encourage their own armies, both the sides. And we have this, we have that, how we can be confident about winning the war. So that's first thing is Duryodhana does that. First Duryodhana does that, and then Arjuna does that to his own. So like that. So they talk about each and every warrior who were the warriors who are heroic in their war skills, fighting skills, and how they can be useful for when the war is happening. Yeah. So let's see in the 4th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, first chapter, 4th verse. I'll say and then you repeat. Atra shura maheshwasa bhimarjuna samayudhi.
Atra
Atra shura
maheshwasa
maheshwasa bhimarjuna samayudhi.
Yudhano viratascha drupadascha maharatha.
Yuyudhano viratascha drupadascha maharatha.
Once more. Atra shrura maheshwasa bhimarjuna samayudhi. Yuyudhano viratascha drupadascha maharatha.
Atra shura maheshwasa bhimarjuna samayudhi. Yuyudhano viratascha drupadascha maharatha.
So we'll go word to word. Atra, here.
Atra, here.
Suraha, heroes.
Suraha,
Suraha,
heroes.
Maha, Maheshwasaha, mighty bowman.
Maheshwasa,
Mighty
Mighty
bowman.
mighty woman.
Bhimarjuna, so Bhima and Arjun.
Bhima Arjuna, Bhima and Arjuna.
and Arjuna.
Samaha, equal.
Samaha,
Samaha,
equal.
equal.
Yudhi, in the fight.
Yudhi, in the
Yudhi,
fight.
Fight.
Yuyudhanaha, Yuyudha.
Yuyudhanaha.
Yuyudhana.
Virataha, Virat.
Virataha.
Virat.
Cha, also.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
Also,
Drupada, Drupada.
Drupada. Drupada.
Cha, also.
also.
Maharathaha, great fighters.
Maharathaha. Great fighters.
great fighter.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjun. Great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virata, and Drupada. So this is what Duryodhana is saying to his army. Yeah. And the commentary is given by Sanjay to Dhritarashtra to make him feel comfortable, and he shouldn't get worried about losing the battle unnecessarily. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Even though Drishtadyumna was not a very important obstacle in the face of Dronacharya's very great power in the military art, there were many others who were causes of fear. They are mentioned by Duryodhan as great stumbling blocks on the path of victory, because each and every one of them was as formidable as Bhima and Arjun. He knew the strength of Bhima and Arjun, and thus he compared the others with them. So he is trying to give a lot of encouragement to all the armies, people in their army. Yeah. So now he goes for each and every one. He talks about their strengths, how they can be very good in the fighting, in the warfare. So next verse says that Dushtaketu Keshchike Ketana Kashirajascha Virivan Purajit Ketu Bodhascha Shabhyascha Narapungava. Sixth, and the translation is, there are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Kechitana, Kashiraja, Purujita, Kunti Bhoja, and Shaibya. All these are having their own strengths in fightings in the battle. Next verse says, Yudha Manyuscha Vikranta Uttamojascha Viryaman Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharatha. Translation goes, there are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamanuja, the son of Subhadra and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. Yeah. So each one is having their own, attributes in terms of fighting. Seventh verse, Asmakam tu Vishishtaye Tandibodha Dvijottama Nayaka Mama Sainyasya Sangyartha Tabra Vimite. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you. Now he's saying, O best of Brahmanas are all the gurus there, Dronacharya and all that. O best of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. So he's talking about all the people, those who are good fighters in his army, who can take care of the other party, who was having the very good fighters in the Pandavas' army. And then he comes to the best of all in his army in the 8th verse. So now you will repeat when I say, Bhavan Bhimascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjaya.
Bhavan Bhimascha Karnascha Krupacharyascha Samnichaya.
Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumatistasthaiva cha.
Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumadasthaivacha.
Translation is, there are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in their battles in the past. So he is counting on their strengths and saying that we don't have to worry, Dronacharya. We have so many good people in our army, that is Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarma, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. Purport goes like this, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Duryodhan mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikrama is the brother of Duryodhan. Ashwathama is the son of Dronacharya. And Somadatti or Purishrava is the son of the king of the Bahalikas. Karna is the half-brother of Arjun, as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Kripacharya's twin sister married Dronacharya. So Karna was against Pandavas. Why? We all know, because he was Suti Putra. Yeah. So he was the Putra of Kunti, but he was born before the marriage. So first, section 1 to 13, preparations of war. So he's trying to, Duryodhana is trying to explain all the, all his people, that you don't have to worry about. And through Dronacharya, he's doing that. 9th verse. Anye cha bhavash shura madarthe vakti jivitaha nana shahastra paranaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. Do you want to repeat this verse? It's a beautiful verse. अन्ये च बहवश्चूरा मदर्थे त्यक्तजीवितः
अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदरैर्धतजीविताः
नानासहस्रप्रहरणः सर्वे युद्धविशारदः
नानासहस्रपरहर्णदः सर्वे युयुधविरासरदाः.
Yeah, I can see some people are struggling. So we'll do half of verse, right? To repeat this. अन्ये च बहवः शूरः
अन्ये च
अन्ते च
बहवः
बहवः
शूरा
शूराः
मदर्थे व्यक्तजीवितः
मदर्थे
मदर्थे व्यक्तजीवितः
नानासहस्रप्रहरणः
नानासहस्रपहरणाः
सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
Again, अन्ये च बहवः शूरः
अन्ये च
च
बहवः शूरः
मदर्थे व्यक्तजीवितः
मदर्थे त्वं जीवितः
नानासहस्रप्रहरणः
नानासहस्रपहरणः
सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे व्यक्तजीवितः
अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे व्यक्तजीवितः
नानासहस्रप्रहरणः सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
नानासहस्रपहरणः सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
Now full shloka in one go. अन्ये च बहवः शूरः मदर्थे व्यक्तजीवितः नानासहस्रप्रहरणः सर्वे युद्धविशारदः.
अन्ये च बहवः शूरा मदर्थे व्यक्तजीवितः नानासहस्रपहरणः सर्वयुद्धविशारदः.
If you are comfortable, any doubt, please raise your hand. Iti.
No,
Okay, now today's recording, you will not be seen in the recording, okay? Even I put it on YouTube, so don't worry about it. You can show your face. This is for everyone. Only my face will be seen in the video. So nobody has any complaint? Okay, good. Now we'll go word to word. Anye, others.
Anye, others.
Others.
Cha, also.
Cha,
Also,
Bahavaha, in great numbers.
Bhavaha, in great numbers.
Shuraha, heroes.
Shuraha, heroes.
Matarthe, for my sake.
For my sake.
Tyakta jivitaha, prepared to risk their life.
Tyakta jivitaha, prepared to risk life.
Nana, many.
Nana, many.
Shastra, weapons.
Shastra, weapons.
Puranaha, praharanaha, equipped with.
Praharnaha, equipped with.
Survey, all of them.
Survey, all of them.
Yuddha Visharadaha, experienced in military science.
Yuddha Visharadaha, experienced in military science.
Any confusion? Any issues? Any doubt? Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Yeah. I repeat again. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. As far as the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Shalya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above-mentioned combined strengths of his friends. His confidence was due to others, those who were in his army, because they were, Sarve Yuddha Visharadha. They were very, very good in their military science, and they could fight very easily. That's why, because they have never lost any battle so far. So he was very confident. And Duryodhana himself was very, very powerful, when he comes to Gada Yuddha, means mace fight, or even the, sword fight, or even Malla Yuddha, that is Kushti, or what do we call it? What do you call Kushti as, Devilina?
In English,
Yeah,
Wrestling.
wrestling, yeah.
wrestling art. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so what is saying that our strength is all depending on these people, and these individuals are very good, and they are ready to die for me. So I have that much confidence in them. So nobody has to worry about anything. Yeah, any questions? So Prabhupada also writes that, that they all are ready to die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was already sinful, when Draupadi was, undressed in the assembly of all the people. That time he was the one who was laughing and who was, absolutely enjoying to insult her and insult Pandavas in front of Krishna. So verse 10th. Now he comes to the real part of it. Now he's trying to undermine the strength of Bhima and trying to show that Bhishma is the more powerful person, which is correct. He is, but we should not or never, undermine any other player, any other, enemies of us. So he says, aparyaptam tadasmakam
Aparyatam tadasmakam
balam bhishmabhirakshitam
Balam
bhishmabhirakshitam
paryaptam pidametesham
paryatyam tidame esham
lam bhimabhirakshitam.
balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Once again, aparyaptam tasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam
Aparatam tadam asmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam
paryaptam pidametesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
paryaptam tidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshattaram.
Again, aparyaptam tad asmakam. Just chant only that.
Aparyatam tadasmakam
Balam bhishmabhirakshitam
balam bhishmabhirakshitam
paryaptam pidametesham
paryaptam tidame tesham
balam bhimabhirakshitam.
balam bhimabhirakshitam
Again, aparyaptam tad asmakam
aparyaptam tad asmakam
balam bhishmabhirakshitam
balam bhishmabhirakshitam
paryaptam pidametesham
paryaptam tidame tesham
balam bhimabhirakshitam.
balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Now, full line one at a time and then second line. Okay. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhimabhirakshitam. Go.
Aparyatam tadasmakam balam bhimabhirakshitam
Paryaptam pidametesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
tam tidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Full shloka in one go. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhimabhirakshitam paryaptam tidametesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Aparyatam tadasmakam balam bhimabhirakshitam paryaptam tidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Wonderful. Shall we do once more? Yeah.
Yes.
Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhimabhirakshitam paryaptam tidametesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Aparyatam tadasmakam balam bhimabhirakshitam paryaptam tidame tesham balam bhimabhirakshitam.
Wonderful. Word to word. Aparyaptam, immeasurable.
Aparyaptam, immeasurable.
Tata, that.
That
Asmakam, of ours.
asmakam, of ours.
Balam, strength.
Balam, strength.
Bhishma, by grandfather Bhishma.
Bhishma, by grandfather Bhishma.
Abhirakshitam, perfectly protected.
Abhirakshitam, perfectly protected.
Paryaptam, limited.
Paryaptam, limited.
To, but.
To, but.
Idam, all this.
Idam, all this.
Etesham, of the Pandavas.
Etesham, of the Pandavas.
Balam, strength.
Balam, strength.
Bhima, by Bhima.
Bhima, by Bhima.
Abhirakshitam, carefully protected.
Abhirakshitam, carefully protected.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of Pandavas carefully protected by Bhima, but which is limited. See how he's,
Comparing.
diplomatically saying all this to protect his army and protect his people, and making sure that they are, getting that that feeling in which they should not feel that their army and their strength is aparyapt, not aparyapt.
Yeah.
He's saying yes, Bhima is there, but it is limited. Okay, though he may be very good warrior, he has a lot of power, but we have Bhishma, grandfather Bhishma, who is never going to die unless he wants to die. So that he had Ichhamrityu, right? He had the Ichhamrityu, Bhishma. So he says that, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, careful protected by Bhima, but it is limited. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Madhuri, do you want to read?
Purport. Herein, an estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general, grandfather Bhishma. On the other hand, the forces of the Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general, Bhima, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhishma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. But at the same time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhishma, who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious as well ascertained.
Victorious was well ascertained. So he
Oh, sorry.
is relying on the strength of the general of the army, which is Bhishma, and there Bhima, because he knew that Bhima is very good at mace fight, and he is the only one uh, uh, who could win against Duryodhana. And he was sure that if Bhishma is there, he doesn't have to worry about. As long as Bhishma is there, he doesn't have to worry about anything, and they are going to win 100%. So these were his, his thoughts about that. And he was always comparing the material strength of both sides and forgetting about having Krishna on the other side. That's where the mistake was happening. Yeah. Iti, are you there or you gone? So he's always on the account of others' strength. He is trying to show that how powerful he is, and how powerful is his opponents. And that's where he is making a mistake, because he is only looking at the material strength of his army and not looking at the strength of other party who has Krishna on their side. And that's where he was going wrong. Every time he was doing the comparison. So he's, always saying that Bhishma is aparyaptam. Aparyaptam.
Bhima.
Yeah. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam Bhishma virakshitam. And paryaptam tadmetesham balam Bhima virakshitam. Yeah, of course they have Bhima, who is the general of the army, and here we have Bhishma, who is aparyaptam. He's more than what Bhima could be. Hundreds of Bhima can be compared with Bhishma. That's what his calculation, because he's doing the material calculation there. He is forgetting the part that Bhishma is the grandfather of both the parties. Yeah. The next verse is very beautiful. Is anybody having any problem in chanting the verses? Because I love to chant because it invokes the mood of Bhagavad Gita in us as well, because these words of these great people, they are so beautiful that when we chant them, it creates that kind of, bhava in us, and we get that bhava. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu
Ayaneshu
च सर्वेषु
sarveshu
यथा भागम अवस्थितः
यथा
यथा
bhagam
भागम्
avastitah
अवस्थितः
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु
Bhishmamevaabhirakshantu
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु
भवन्तः सर्व एव हि
भवन्तः
Bhavantah
सर्व
sarva
एव हि
eva hi
अयनेषु च सर्वेषु
Ayaneshu cha sarveshu
यथा भागम अवस्थितः
यथा bhagam avastitah
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु
Bhishmamevaabhirakshantu
भवन्तः सर्व एव हि
भवन्तः
Bhavantah
सर्व
sarva
एव
eva
हि
hi
Now, both lines in one go. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantah sarva eva hi.
Ayaneshu
अयनेषु च
cha
सर्वेषु
sarveshu
यथा
यथा
भागम् अवस्थितः
bhagavastitah
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु
Bhishmamevaabhirakshantu
भवन्तः
Bhavantah
सर्व
sarva
एव
eva
हि
hi
Once more. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthitaha bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantah sarva eva hi.
अयनेषु
Ayaneshu
च
cha
सर्वेषु
sarveshu
यथा
yatha
भागम्
bhagam
अवस्थितः
avastitah
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु
Bhishmamevaabhirakshantu
भवन्तः
Bhavantah
सर्व
sarva
एव
eva
हि
hi
Yeah, word to word. Ayaneshu in the energetic point,
in the
sorry,
strategy
in the strategic points.
Ayaneshu in the strategic points
point
Cha also,
Cha also
sarveshu everywhere.
Sarveshu everywhere
Yatha bhagam as differently arranged.
Yatha bhagam as differently arranged
Avasthitaha situated.
Avastitah situated
Bhishmam unto grandfather Bhishma.
Bhishmam unto grandfather Bhishma
Eva certainly.
Eva certainly
Abhirakshantu should give support.
Abhirakshantu should give support
Bhavantaha you.
Bhavantah you
Survey all respectively.
Survey all respectively
Eva he certainly.
Eva hi certainly
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. So what he is saying, that you all, those who are, I have named already, who are the great fighters, you please support Bhishma, because Bhishma is the general, but he is an old man. Now he is trying to also demoralize, saying that, oh, Bhishma, he's old, Though he has initially said that Bhishma is very powerful, we don't have to worry about, because he is the general and this and that. But now in this verse, he's such a diplomatic person, He's saying that you all be around Bhishma because he's an old man. If he dies, then we are gone. So that's where his statement comes here, that you all great warriors, please be surround Bhishma Dev so that he will be protected, because he didn't have any he had doubt, he didn't have complete faith on Bhishma's strength. So he is saying that you please surround him, always try to see that nothing should happen to Bhishma, because he is the most powerful person, but he is old. He is very old. So he should be supported by all of us. So be from your position, make sure that you always have an eye and keep protecting Bhishma Dev. Yeah. Purport, Ashwin, do you want to read, please?
Certainly. Purport. Duryodhan, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So, in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishma Dev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhan clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma Deva. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjun's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up, as they had done during the gambling performances.
Wonderful. So, any doubt on? Yeah. So now he's trying to protect both of them because they didn't say a single word when Draupadi was, addressed in the assembly of so many big people, and nobody said anything. And she was kept shouting for Krishna, 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 please save me. Now the question comes that whenever we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, why do we do the hands like this?
Surrender ourselves.
Surrendering.
Surrendering. This is similar way how Draupadi has surrendered herself. Draupadi was, she was shouting for Krishna. And what Krishna did, he gave unlimited sari to her. So that's how we have to surrender ourselves to Krishna. Complete surrender. Surrender means not today I'm not going to the temple. No, I can't do. I have to watch a movie with my husband. I have to go somewhere out. Every time we try to find an excuse that why we don't want to come, why do we want to come to the temple, why we're trying to find an excuse, the best excuse that we can, and we don't do certain things. We should have at least that much surrender that we at least go there, take darshan. We can't even do that, then what is the use of studying all these shastras? Anyway, I'm not pointing fingers on anyone, but just trying to say that, how it happens when somebody is in problem, he has to do the full surrender to Krishna. Complete surrender. And complete surrender means, yes, now it's all in your hand. Anywhere when there is a fight, you must have seen in Bollywood movies or Hollywood movies. If anyone comes with a gun, he says, stand. What does he say with a gun?
Hands up.
Hands up. That is the first thing he says, hands up. And once your hands up, then you're gone. You are complete surrendered to whoever is having the gun. Here, Krishna doesn't have a gun, but here Krishna has love. So that love, we have to surrender ourselves. Yeah. So all these verses until now we come to a very beautiful part of each one of them, when they have talked about, Duryodhana has talked about his armies and and explained each one person how he is powerful, and then they start blowing their each conch. Each one of them has a conch. So the first one who goes for his conch is Bhishma Dev. And when Bhishma blew his conch, what happens? It is like a Simbanad. It is like roaring of a lion. And why it is important here to see that it is doing the roaring of a lion kind of a sound, that it will encourage the entire army of Kauravas. And that is Bhishma Deva's. It is so special about that. So now we go into the verse. So that particular sound, when Bhishma Dev does it, that means it is the start of the war. There is no going back. So after listening to all this nonsense, what Duryodhana was saying, Bhishma said, enough is enough now. Keep your mouth shut. I'm going to start the battle now. And he blew his conch. And his conch is also had a certain name. Okay, 12th verse. Tasya sanjanaya harsham
Tasya sanjanya harsham
Guru Vruddha Pitamaha
Guru
Guru Pitamaha
Pitamaha
Simhanadam Vidnadyosche
Simhanadam
Simhanadam
Vinastusche
Vinadhyoshe
Shankham Dadmo Pratapavan.
Shankham Dadmo
Dadmo
Pratapavan.
Pratapaha.
So, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana a joy. This specially why Bhishma Pitama does that, so that Duryodhana, who is actually getting scared inside his heart, but he's trying to tell everyone, don't worry, we have this, we have that. However, he himself was actually very scared of losing the battle. That's the reason Bhishma Pitama blew his conch, to make him feel joy. Yes, don't worry, I am there to help you win this war. Purport, the Deviljan, do you want to read, please?
Yes, purport. The grandsire of the Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana, and out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. Indirectly, by the symbolism of the conch shell, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle because the supreme god Krishna was on the other side, but still it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection.
Yeah. So even Duryodhana knew that other side is Krishna, and also mighty power of Bhima and Arjuna and all those people. And at the same time, Bhishma also knew that the side in which Krishna is there is going to win the battle. But still, in order to encourage his grandson, he blew the conch shell. Yeah. And so loudly he blew that everyone shatters in the heart. And he does it just to give encouragement to his grandson, Duryodhana, so that he'll feel better. Any questions? Ashwini, you want to ask a question?
No, it's fine.
No, go. No question is stupid question. Don't worry.
No, I was just I get, yeah, every time I think of a question, then the answer kind of pops. So the question that came to me was, if he knew that he was going to lose, why was he fighting on Duryodhana's side to begin with? But then it was his duty, and he was, it was, yeah, he was meant to protect Kauravas essentially to the best of his abilities. So yeah.
You can
But-
see Sardar आपका नमक खाया है.
हाँ.
It's like that, मैंने आपका नमक खाया. So it is that was the situation with Bhishma, even Dronacharya, Kripacharya. So they all, because it was Kauravas, dynasty, it was And they all were Kurus. Only sons of Pandus were Pandavas.
Mm.
5. So that's the reason that everyone was siding Kauravas. Yeah. So the army was called as 16 Ayokshini army, so 16 lakhs
Sorry.
people in there.
Yeah, Akshayu.
What a big army. Here is a beautiful verse. So 13 is also good. Tata Shankarta Bheryascha
Tatha Shankascha Bhairyascha
Padavanaka Gomukhaha
Padavanaka Gomukha
Saha Saivabhyahantyanta
Sahasavriva Bhavyanta
Sashabdastu Bulo Bhavata
Shabdastu Mulo Bhavataha
Tata Shankarta Bheryascha
Tatha Shankascha Bhairyascha
Padavanaka Gomukhaha
Padavanaka Gomukha
Saha Saivabhyahanyanta
Sahasaiva Bhayantya
Sashabdastu Bulo Bhavata.
Sashabdmulo Bhavataha
Full line at a time. Tata Shankharta Bheryascha Padavanaka Gomukhaha
Tatha Shankascha Bhairyascha Padavanako Mukha
Saha Saivabhyayantasya Shabdastu Mulo Bhavata
Sahasaiva Bhupnasta Shabdastulo Mulo Bhavata.
Yeah, the translation by Srila Prabhupada. After that, the conch shell, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Tumultuous sound is coming now. So because everything, all drums, this, that, bugles, everything started, blowing there. So that means the Kaurava party was ready to fight during this time. And after that, what happens? See, so the 14 to 20 is the signs of victory that we will see. It's a beautiful section, and we will go through this section now. Another 20 minutes, please. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Tata Shveterye Yukte
Tatha Shvete Ye Yukte
Mahati Siddhare Thito
Mahati Sadhyani Stitho
Madavaha Pandavaschaiva
Madhavaha Pandavaschaiva
Divyo Shankhopadhudmatu
Divyo
Divyo Shankho Pradyumnato
Tata Shveterye Yukte
Tatha
Tatash
Shvete Ye Yukte
Mahati Sindhane Sthitau
Mahati
Mahati Sindhano Stitho
Madavaha Pandavaschaiva
Madhavaha
Madhava
Pandavaschaiva
Divyo Shankhopadhudmatu.
Divyo
Divyo Shankho Padadmatu
Yeah, one line at a time. Tata Shveterye Yukte Mahati Sindhane Sthitau
Tatha Shvete Yukte Mahati Sande Stitho
Madavaha Pandavaschaiva Divyo Shankhopadhudmatu.
Madhava Pandavaschaiva Daivyo Shankhe Padmatu.
So now, full shloka at a time. Tata Shvete Hriye Yukte Bhavati Sandane Sthitau Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyo Shankho Padadmatuhu.
ततश्वेतेह हरेयो महती सन्निधे स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवाश्चैव दैव्यशङ्खे प्रदध्मतु.
Yeah. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjun, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Saruni, please read the purport.
In contrast with the conch shells blown by Bhishma Deva, the conch shells in the hand of Krishna and Arjuna are described as transcendental. The sounding of the transcendental conch shells indicated that there was no hope of victory for the other side because Krishna was on the other side of the Pandavas. Jayatu Pandu Putranam Seyam Pakshi Janadhana. Victory is always with persons like the sons of Pandu because Lord Krishna is associated with them. And whenever and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there because the goddess of fortune never lives alone without her husband. Therefore, victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conch shells of Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. Beside that, the chariots on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni, the fire god, to Arjuna. And this indicated that the chariot was capable of conquering all sides, wherever it was drawn over the three worlds.
So when Arjun had gone to Indraloka, that time, before all this battle and all, so he was given Indra has given his chariot to him. The horses were white horses, and those the horses were used in this battle now. Yeah. And the Lord Krishna is associated with them, and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there because the goddess of fortune never lives alone without her husband, that is Lord Krishna or Vishnu. So now people here do Lakshmi Pujan. You can't do a Lakshmi Pujan alone. You have to have a Lord Vishnu or Krishna with that. Yeah. So a lot of people do it on, Diwali. We are doing Lakshmi Pujan. Krishna and Lakshmi both should be together. So, so that is one thing, because the victory will be there when Krishna and Lakshmi both are together. Yeah. So Radha and Krishna both should be there, and when they are there, the victory is going to be there anyway. So that is the conclusion of this particular verse, that Pandavas cheva dibyo shankho padadata. So their conch shells are going to be the transcendental conchs, and that they are going to now blow. Now 15th verse. Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Devadattam Dhananjaya
Devadattam Dhananjaya
Poundram Dadmo Mahashankha
Pondam Dadhya Mahashankha
Bhimakarma Vrukodaraha
Bhimakarma Vrukodaraha
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Devadattam Dhananjaya
Devadattam Dhananjaya
Poundram Dadmo Mahashankha
Pondam Dadmo Mahashankha
Bhimakarma Vrukodaraha.
Bhimakarma Vrukodaraha.
Full line at a time now. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya
Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya
Poundram Dadmo Mahashankham
Pondram Datyam Mahashankham
Bhimakarma Vrkodaraha.
Bhimakarma Vrkodaraha.
Now, full shloka at a time. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjayaha Poundram Dadmau Mahashankham Bhimakarma Vrkodaraha.
Panchajanyam Rishikesho
Rishikesho
Devadattam
Devadattam
Dhananjayaha
Dhananjayaha
Pondram Datyam Mahashankham
Mahashankham
Bhimakarma Vrkodaraha.
Are we all okay with the recitation? Yeah? Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjun blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. Now, each of these conch has its own story. The first one is Panchajanya. So, when Krishna and Balaram both were studying at the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni's ashram in Avantipur. Avantipur is Ujjain actually. Originally it was Avantipur, now it is called Ujjaini. Later on Ujjaini, but there is still Avantipur is the original name of that place, and where the Ardha Kumbh happens. Yeah, after every 6 years, Ardha Kumbh happens. And Purna Kumbh happens after
12,
12
11.
years. Yeah, 12 years. And that happens in Kashi. Yeah. So, when Krishna and Balaram both were studying at the ashram of Sandipani Muni, and they learned all the 30 types of, what do you call, 30 types of kala, what do we call. So they learned in 30 days. Because the Krishna and Balaram, they were so fast, they were so intelligent, and they were so powerful. So they learned all of them in 30 days. And it's as our, what do you call, pratha, we have to give some Guru Dakshina to our Guru at the end of your education. So when they went to Sandipani Muni and his wife, Guru Mata, and they asked, what do you want in your, as a, Guru Dakshina? So they both were, and Mata was more, she was absolutely about to cry. She said, Lord, he himself is asking that, what do you want? So then Guru Mata, then he asked, why are you, looking so morose today when we are leaving? Is it because we are leaving? No, we are always going to be there with you. But she said, no, the reason is our son went for fishing in the ocean, and there was one there was one demon who came in the form of a whale, and he has eaten our son. And the name of that particular whale was Panchajana. So Krishna and Arjun went into the ocean, and they fought with the Panchajana, and then asked him, where is this? And he said, no, I've already eaten. So he's gone to Yamaraj. So Krishna and Balaram both went to Yamaraj and asked him about his son, and then said, okay, I will release him. So now they brought him back and give them back to Lord. So the Panchajana whale, that was actually a conch type of demon. So Arjuna, Krishna brought him with him and made a conch of that. So that is called Panchajanya. Panchajanya Rishikesha. Rishikesh means the one who is Krishna. Rishikesha means Krishna. Rishikesha, Rishikena, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchyate. It is what saying, right? Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchyate. Rishika means our veins, our each and every cell of the body. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchyate. So the most beautiful bhakti is what? By our each and every cell of the body, we are serving Rishikesha, who is Krishna. So Krishna brings that conch with him because he won that, and then he blew that conch in this battle because then it becomes his conch. So the sound which is coming out of that is a transcendental sound. Is it clear? What is Panchajanya we call? There is a newspaper in India, Panchajanya, produced by Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. Anyone remembers that? Panchajanya? Okay, so now you know that. Panchajanya is the newspaper. It comes out by, RSS or maybe Vishwa Hindu Parishad, whoever that. Now we'll go to the purport of this one. Okay, who wants to read? I've given chance to everyone. Now, okay, I'll read. Nobody's coming forward.
Oh, I'll read.
Okay, go on. Go slowly, okay?
Yeah, Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The impersonalist cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities as senseless or impersonal. The Lord, situated in the heart of all living entities, directs their senses, but he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. And in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controlled the senses. Here, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rikesha. The Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhusudana because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda.
Pause it for once. Just pause it once. So whenever there is a name, the A is representing, when the English people read, they will not read as Arjuna. Arjun for them is also A at the end. But from the Indian perspective, we use that A as A. So we have to say Arjun, Duryodhan,
Okay.
like that. Pandav, not Pandava.
Okay.
Yes.
Good, thank you.
No problem. Like similarly, battlefield of Kurukshetra, not Kurukshetra. Yeah.
Where was I?
So his particular name of Rishikesha.
Madhusudan.
So different names according to his different activities. Yeah, you were there.
For example, his name Madhusudana. Is that
Again,
right?
Madhusudan.
Madhusudan. Because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows.
His name is Govinda.
Govind. Okay. His name is Vasudev.
Yes, correct.
Because he appeared as the son of Vasudev. His name is Devaki Nandan because he accepted Devaki as his mother. His name is Yashoda Nandan because he accepted his childhood pastime to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Parth Sarathi because he worked as a charioteer of his friend Arjun. Similarly, his name is, I'm struggling with this one,
Rishikesh.
Rishikesh, because he gave direction to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Yeah, wonderful. Yes, Ashwini, next paragraph.
Arjun is referred to as Dhananjay in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhim is known as
Brukodara.
Vrikodara because he could eat as voraciously as he could perform Herculean tasks, such as killing the demon Hidimba. So the particular types of conch shell blown by different personalities on the side of the Pandavas, beginning with the lords, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of the goddess of fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle, and that was their message announced by the sounds of the conch shells.
Wonderful. So now there's nothing more to describe, but because it's very self-understandable, right? So from this particular purport that Prabhupada has written so beautifully, yeah. So that's
No,
why
I have a
whenever
doubt.
sorry.
Sorry, I have a doubt. So
Yeah.
we're saying here that each of these people had a conch because they had performed some kind of a task that allowed them to keep a conch. Is
No,
that how it works?
so when the war happens, how it is indicates that you are ready to fight now. Because see, it never used to happen like a guerrilla war kind of thing, you know. That time it was not guerrilla war. Somebody will come and kill from, you know, from behind and all. Here you have to declare that yes, you are ready now because Bhishma Dev has done it. Now Pandav side is doing it. Okay, so you have to be prepared for the war.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
So
blowing of the
here,
conch is
so Duryodhan did in words that how his side is great in
okay.
words.
Yeah.
Pandav side is doing it by way of blowing the conch shell.
Got
So
it.
it is a bhava, and there it has to be explained. So that is the difference. Transcendental personalities have a bhava that shows that because I am blowing this, I have done this Herculean job of bringing Sandipani Muni's son, who was eaten by Panchajana, and he went there and brought him back. So when he can do that, he can do anything.
Okay, so to rephrase, just so that I've understood it, because Duryodhan was not inherently a good person, he had to speak his intentions and his like he had to use words
Explain,
to
yeah.
motivate his troops.
His army, yeah.
But on this side, on the Pandav side, because Krishna especially, and also to a certain extent Pandavs, could claim credit to tasks of importance of punya, they were able to dip into the transcendental sound and communicate to their armies their motivation through the very cells by virtue of the sound. Did I
Correct.
get that?
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And because each of them were also did the Herculean task like Bhima did. He could eat. He was a voracious eater. He could eat as much as that he can. And at the same time, he can do Herculean tasks as well. So he was very
That is not
powerful.
literal, is it? I mean, yes, he could eat literally as well, but why is it such a big deal that he could, like, that would be something that
It
in
is
today's day and
just
age we would be
to
ashamed of because he
indicate.
eats so much.
It is just to indicate.
Right.
It is only indication. It doesn't mean that he is, 100 kgs of potatoes and like that. We don't have to say that. here. See, what normal person can eat, he can eat maybe 100 times more than that. That is also voracious eater.
Yeah, but the act of eating is just that, the act of eating. It is not not a.
It shows the
It's not
power
like eating your
that
sins or something like that.
he's only eating. It doesn't mean he's eating at the same time he can do Herculean tasks. So both are interconnected to each other,
Right.
and that's where his strength is coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we lost somebody.
Etty had dropped a message to say that she was running late, so she had to leave.
Okay, no problem. And further, so Arjun is referred to as Dhananjay in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. So Dhan Anjay, he is doing Anjay of Dhan. He is collecting wealth for his elder brother. And when he did the Ashwamedha Yajna, the horse went everywhere, and Arjun was the one who was protecting the protecting the Ashwa. Wherever he was going, he was fighting with all the kings across the Bharatvarsha, and then he earned a lot of money. He was asking for every king, just give me the, whatever money that time it was, probably gold coins and all. So he's collected all of them. That's why he's called Dhananjay. Dhananjay. He has collected money from all the kings across the globe. And that's how Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king of the whole world. So that's the story behind it, why it is called. So like Bhima, why he was called Herculean task, like he has killed the demon Hidimba. He has killed her. So it is just one example out of his Herculean tasks that he could do. Hmm? So why these tasks are required to be listed out here, because other side didn't have any these kind of powers can be shown by any of the people, and that's the reason it is very important that we mention here that this guy is so good and that guy is not so good. Yeah. Okay, so their power is shown by way of their conches. His conch was called as Dhananjay, Krishna's conch was called as Panchajanya. Yeah. So next class, please by heart verse 15 and verse 10. And when you say the verse, say the translation as well at the same time, not only verse. Okay. And please, 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 you should have Bhagavad Gita in your hand. You get the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. We'll finish the class here. We'll do the Vaishnava Pranam and close the class. Are we all ready? Can I see the faces, please?
Just one moment. I'm finishing my notes. Done.
समय किसी के लिए रुकता नहीं है. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय.
Jai.
जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल. Just 1 minute.